Hej venner, så blev det mandag. Jeg har ligget syg her de sidste 4-5 dage, noget af den stil. Fyldt med snot i hele hovedet. Så nu er jeg sådan heldigvis ved at være ovenpå igen, nytestet og negativ på det plan. Jeg har brugt en del mere tid på internettet, sådan YouTube og så videre her de sidste dage, end jeg sådan normalvis gør. Og det har været en blandet fornøjelse, vil jeg sige. Hold kæft, der er meget, som ikke er lavkage. Der er, eller hvis man gør sig lidt umage, hvis man er heldig, så kan man jo bare også, der kan også ske det, at man får hul igennem til en uanet mængde af inspiration og viden, ny viden og en masse visdom. Og nu tænker jeg sådan, at nu er det jo mandag, så skal jeg lave et indlæg, sige noget klogt. Men det har jeg ikke tænkt mig at gøre, fordi jeg har fundet sådan et lille klip med en fyr, der hedder Simon Sinek. Nogle af jer kender ham sikkert. Jeg tror, det er 2,5 minutter, noget af den stil. Det kan jeg ikke gøre bedre. Jeg kan ikke sige det mere lige ud og ærligt, end han gør. Så jeg håber, at du har lyst til lige at lade dig inspirere også af ham. Og så ses vi. Ha' det godt.
We're living in a world that is so polarized, where everything is black and white, where we think that if I'm right, you must be wrong. And the reality is, the world is very gray. The world is not black and white. And very often there is no right or wrong. Very often, and I think if you look at our politicians, I think we're quick to blame our politicians, but I think our politicians are a reflection of us. I think, quite frankly, if we're worried that the world is polarized and our politicians are dividing us, I think that's us. We complain that they don't listen. We complain that they judge. We complain that they pit one group against another for personal gain. Well, that's kind of what we've been doing for years, and they pretend to be like us so they can get elected. So I think if we're disgusted by the states of our nations, and we're disgusted and disappointed by how polarized we are, and almost everyone is. And by the way, Google doesn't help, because the algorithm attempts to show you things that it thinks you want to see. So if you lean one political direction and you really care about finding what the balanced truth is, whatever you Google will show you your political leaning and the opposite for the other side. So I think it starts at home. I think we all as individuals have to do a better job of listening. We have to learn to be less judgmental. We have to accept that two people can be right, or at least try to understand where they come from, and understand that there's a reason for, nobody thinks nobody, when we keep calling other groups evil, nobody thinks they're evil. Everybody thinks they're on the side of good. Yeah. Everybody. Yeah. And to try and understand what that means and get to the root is where you find common ground. I'm very proud of there's one particular friendship I have with a friend in here, and we are on polar opposite sides of the political spectrum, and we have very different beliefs about a lot of things in the world. Mm-hmm. But we completely love each other and care about each other, because at the end of the day, we share a lot of the same values, and we're interested in each other, and we learn from each other, and we ask each other hard questions, and we listen, as opposed to trying to be right and convince the other person that they're wrong. And let me be clear, those conversations are difficult. Yeah. When people say things that trigger you, and for you to react with curiosity rather than anger, or to call somebody, or to show interest in their point of view and understand it, rather than tell them that they're wrong or stupid, that takes a lot of hard work. And let's be honest, they don't teach us those skills at school. We don't learn those skills at work. So where are we learning those skills? We have to learn those skills. And quite frankly, I think companies should teach those skills. Companies should teach listening and effective confrontation, and how to have difficult conversations, and how to give and receive feedback. Because not only will it help us at work, because all of those things matter at work, but it'll actually help us be better human beings. So believe it or not, I actually think business could be the solution to the problems we have in our world, because our government's not going to teach us those skills. Our schools aren't teaching us those skills. People aren't taking it upon themselves to learn those skills. But if we have to learn those skills at work, well, guess what? Those skills get used in all aspects of our lives, and eventually we'll get politicians that reflect that as well.